The man charged in a quadruple murder in Idaho avoided trial with a last-minute plea deal. Brian Koberger pleaded guilty last week to the murders. He avoided the death penalty and will spend the rest of his life in prison. The plea deal also means some questions may never be answered. As part of the agreement, Koberger didn't have to say why he did it. His reaction to the deal. We continue our questions now with our legal analyst, Whitney Traylor. So why would the prosecutors accept this deal? And just a personal question. Do you consult with the families before you even put a plea deal on the table, or is that not something that happens?
Well, I think that was part of the frustration here, was that the family, they did have a conversation, I think, on Friday, and then Saturday or Sunday, they received a letter saying, hey, we're going to go forward with it. And one of the families were really adamantly against it. And so they felt like this was kind of a slap in the face, and they were shocked because this had been going on for so many years. And then on the cusp of trial, they were scheduled for trial in August. So this was a major issue. And I think the prosecution, you know, their thought process was they were getting the conviction. He's admitting to guilt. The terms of the plea were favorable in the sense that it was going to guarantee certain things that wouldn't be an appeal. So I think they felt that it would actually be in everyone's best interest. But as you mentioned, two of the families were really frustrated with it, and two of the families, I think, were okay with that.
Yeah. One of the things, I mean, you go back and forth with your emotions on something like this. A trial like this is going to last a really long time.
Yes.
It's going to be really graphic.
Correct.
Really detailed.
Yes.
And you would think that for some people that would be really hard to hear, but a lot of these families were just searching for more information that said, why did you do this?
Yeah.
And, you know, we've heard all these reports that maybe only went there to kill one young woman and ended up killing three. But do you get the why in a trial like that necessarily?
Well, sometimes you will get the why when the evidence comes out, and depending on who testifies, and you get to see all the evidence, because a lot of this evidence was sealed beforehand. So that's a major issue. And you can also have that as part of the plea, where you actually state the defendant says, not only acknowledges guilt, but talks about why they never recovered the knife, all these types of things. But you raise a great point. What is worse for these families to have to go through it and to hear how it happened, to see the pictures? I mean, that would not only would the trial itself be horrific and painful, but then you have years and years and years of appeal. Because our system, and it makes sense. I mean, we have a due process right, and it says, depending on the right that's being taken, so in this case, your life or your liberty, you get a ton of due process. And so he would have had habeas corpus, he would have had all these appeals, and that could have went on for decades. And some people say that would be more painful than, you know, now you have this chapter shut. And I'm not trying to put myself in the place of the families, but these are certainly arguments and psychological aspects to this deal.
And there is a sentencing hearing. I believe it's on July 23rd. What do you expect to happen at this hearing? I mean, it's just right around the corner.
It's right around the corner, and there shouldn't be much in terms of, we know what the deal is, what the plea is, and the judge has already accepted that. That happened, I think, on July 9th or earlier in the month. And he's going to get 4 life sentences consecutive. So, and then the 10-year burglary charge. So he's not ever going to get out. He doesn't have a right to appeal. He's waiving his right to appeal. So all of those things won't actually be argued. I wouldn't expect the lawyers to argue. So this is really about the victim impact statements, and that's going to be absolutely painful. The judge is going to be deferential and let these people speak their mind. Some judges actually let you speak directly to the defendant and look at them. Other judges won't allow you to do that. And in this case, there's going to be so much emotion. I don't know how they'll act. But Kim, you mentioned how we don't know the why. Some people are wondering, a lot of times the defendant obviously gets to speak and make a formal statement, usually a plea for mercy. Here, that isn't really going to be germane to the hearing, but will he actually say something? Will he speak to the family? because he's been, all these proceedings, he's been completely stoic, hasn't made any real statements, although he did at the plea hearing, he did actually say, you know, guilty, yes, I did this to each of the counts. And to me, I think that probably would have given the family some sense to just hear that, yes, he's acknowledging it. But still, this is obviously life-changing.
Yeah, be interesting. I'm glad you sorted through that, because the legal wranglings are a lot to think about when something like this happens.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, for sure.
All right, thank you, Whitney.
Okay.